wherein we studied that the sales should be recorded when the owner or when the business, sorry, not the owner, the business gets the legal right to receive money. That is, an order is placed and the goods are delivered. Post that, it is the legal right of the business to receive money, and hence the sales are recorded. Okay. A related concept, as I told you, is the accrual concept. Just for the students who have joined in today, we are on unit 1 of your syllabus, which is basically the theory and fundamentals of financial accounting, which you people have studied in class 11. So you can access the recordings of the lectures. You can ask for the link from your classmates. Both of you, please also uh, share your number in the chat box, and Suraj or I think Aryaman, both of you, make sure that these students are added to the class.
Okay, ma'am.
आंसर बेटा आप ना मुझे याद दिलाया करो बाद में क्लास के. Okay, I'll share the answer. Just post a message on the class group. I'll share the answer. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next concept. Again, a very important concept, as I told you, that these are the concepts that differentiate accounting from finance. So, accrual concept first. What is the meaning of the accrual concept? So, as you can see, the accrual concept means that term accrual means something is due. Okay, so we generally talk in terms of money, and we say that some money is due. Now, this due amount can be with the perspective of receiving the amount or paying the amount. So, it can be an outstanding amount that needs to be paid or a due amount that is yet to be received in the business. So the concept says that revenues are recognized when they become receivable, even though cash is received or not received. तो अभी हमने realization concept में यही पढ़ा है that once the goods have been delivered, once the services have been delivered, irrespective of whether the cash has been received or not, we record the revenue, we record the sales. On the other hand, expenses are recognized when they become payable, even if the cash has not been paid. So, expenses, for example, your phone bill, your electricity bill for the month of November becomes due on 1st December. Okay, so the time period in which those expenses have been incurred, during that time period we need to record those expenses irrespective of whether the expenses have been paid or not. तो तभी जो हमने टर्म्स करी थी, जस्ट टू रिकॉल, आउटस्टैंडिंग एक्सपेंसेस या प्रीपेड एक्सपेंसेस हम रिकॉर्ड करते हैं उस टाइम पीरियड में जिसमें ये एक्सपेंसेस ड्यू हो जाते हैं. ओके, even if they have been paid in cash or they have not been paid in cash. So accrual concept actually brings forth the four terms which we discussed. I'll go back to those terms also, but first, let's take a simple example and clarify the concept. Now, if the firm received, the example is there on your screens. If the firm received goods costing 20,000 on 29th March 2005. Now, the financial year for this firm with respect to this transaction is 1st of April 2004, 31st March 2005. The payment for these goods. Now, firm has received the goods before the closure of the financial year, but the payment for these goods is made on 2nd April 2005. मतलब नेक्स्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर में आपने इन गुड्स की पेमेंट करी है, पर आपकी फर्म ने गुड्स रिसीव कर लिए इस वाले रेलेवेंट फाइनेंशियल ईयर में. So, according to the accrual concept, the expense of 20,000 will be recorded in the current financial year only, because the expense has been incurred in this year. We do not see whether the cash has been paid or not. What matters is whether that expense has become due in this time period or not. Okay, so no payment is made, but this expense has become due and is payable. For revenue, we took examples yesterday. If in the same case, if the firm has delivered goods instead of receiving, and if the firm had delivered these goods on 29th March, but the payment was received on 2nd April, even then we would have recorded this as an income, accrued income 20,000, चाहे कैश नेक्स्ट फाइनेंशियल पीरियड में रिसीव हो, पर ये जो रेवेन्यू है इस पीरियड में रेलिवेंट है, तो हम इसी टाइम पीरियड में इसको रिकॉर्ड करेंगे. मूविंग अहेड, we bring the distinction between cash and accrual basis of accounting. So, जब आपकी पेमेंट रिसीव हो जाती है कैश में या आपके एक्सपेंसेस पे हो जाते हैं कैश में, तब तो कोई भी दिक्कत नहीं होती. बट व्हाट matters is under accounting that even if there is not a payment or receipt in cash, we still record expenses and revenues that are relevant to a particular period. So I'll just repeat the concept which we did the other day on expenses and incomes. So very easily, if you are making a cash payment minus the expenses, if you are receiving cash, that is an income for the business, and in cash received is added. Okay, now technically, when does a point come up? When the expenses are due but have not been paid. Outstanding expenses. And second is when the expenses are not due but have been paid in advance. So outstanding expenses are related to the current financial year, to the current accounting year, and outstanding expenses have become due but not paid. So as I told you earlier, an amount which is due but not paid is a liability for the business. Okay, on the other hand, a prepaid expense is not due but paid. मतलब ये नेक्स्ट अकाउंटिंग ईयर के लिए है ये एक्सपेंस जो आपने एडवांस में पे कर दिया है. तो दिस इज ट्रीटेड as an asset for the business. On the other hand, with respect to incomes also, there may be some incomes which are due and some incomes which the business has received in advance. So there the terms used are accrued income यानी कि outstanding income, earned but not received, earned but not received. So against this, the firm has rendered these services, but this payment has not been received. This is something which the business has a right to receive. तो इस पे क्लेम है बिजनेस का एज पर रियलाइजेशन कॉन्सेप्ट, एज पर अक्रूवल कॉन्सेप्ट. Business has a right to receive this money. So this is an asset for the business. On the other hand, there may be some incomes which you have received in advance. जो आप प्रीपेड इनकम बोल सकते हो, पर हम अकाउंट्स में टर्म यूज करते हैं रिसीव्ड इन एडवांस. So you have got the money in advance, but you have to render services against this money. So this becomes a liability for the business. So actually these four terms, they differentiate cash basis of accounting from accrual basis of accounting. Someone has a question. Yes, Vandan.
मैम मैम जो प्रीपेड एक्सपेंस होता है मैम.
हाँ जी बोलो.
मैम उसमें मैम, हाँ मैम, मैम हमें मैम हम पहले ही पैसे दे देते हैं मैम. मैम लेकिन हमने सर्विस यूज नहीं करी होती.
अभी नहीं करी यूज. हाँ
तो
जी.
मैम हमारे को मैम लाइबिलिटी तो होगी नहीं मैम, वो तो हमारे एसेट से रिड्यूस होगा और कैपिटल से रिड्यूस होगा.
अच्छा, आप अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन में बात कर रहे हो.
यस
एसेट
मैम.
में ऐड होगा और कैपिटल से रिड्यूस होगा.
मैम मैम जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल मैम मैंने 100 रुपीज की मैम मैम मैंने प्रीपेड एक्सपेंस किया.
हाँ.
तो मैम मेरे एसेट से मैम माइनस होगा ना, क्योंकि वो मैंने पे कर दिया है मैम.
अच्छा, आप उसमें बोल रहे हो कैश वाले उसमें.
यस
पर
मैम.
जो ये प्रीपेड एक्सपेंस है बेटा, ये जो सबसे पहले तो ये आपके लिए एसेट बन रहा है नया, क्योंकि दिस गिव्स यू राइट टू सम सर्विस इन द फ्यूचर. आर यू गेटिंग मी? इसको
मैम
फिर हम कैपिटल में एडजस्ट नहीं करेंगे. एक तो कैश में से इसको माइनस करेंगे क्योंकि आपने ये पेमेंट कर दी है. ठीक
यस
है.
मैम.
और दूसरा हम इसको प्रीपेड एक्सपेंस करके रिकॉर्ड करेंगे एसेट साइड पर ही. तो इसकी कैपिटल में एडजस्टमेंट नहीं होगी क्योंकि ये इस ईयर का एक्सपेंस नहीं है.
तो
तो
मैम वो
दोनों
एसेट,
एडजस्टमेंट लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे होंगी.
ओके मैम, वो एसेट में प्लस माइनस हो जाएगा.
हाँ, प्लस माइनस हो जाएगा, वहां पे इसकी एडजस्टमेंट होगी.
यस मैम, आ गए समझ में.
ठीक है. यस, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? Okay, let's just get back to cash versus accrual basis of accounting. अब कैश बेसिस ऑफ अकाउंटिंग कोई भी पर्सन कर सकता है, कोई भी लेमैन कर सकता है जिसको अकाउंटिंग की बिल्कुल भी नॉलेज ना हो. जब कैश इनफ्लो हो रहा है तो उसको ऐड कर दो, जब कैश आउटफ्लो हो रहा है उसको माइनस कर दो. तो यहाँ पर आउटस्टैंडिंग, अक्रूड, इन टर्म्स का कोई भी रेलेवेंस नहीं है. You are just seeing whether cash is moving out of the business or cash is coming in the business. While accrual basis of accounting considers the realization concept, the accrual basis concept, and accordingly records your expenses and incomes. So let's see what is the difference between the two. I'll straight away come to the table of differentiation. So just start reading the points. We'll discuss them one by one. There are 2 points on your screen. Please read them. So whenever you give differentiation, you are asked for differentiation in your paper also. it is always best to have a three column mode of presentation of answer with basis being the first column and the other two terms which you are differentiating occupying the second and third column. So let's start with the first basis. Gautam, you have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Outstanding like outstanding salaries and all, ma'am, they are posted in balance sheet.
आउटस्टैंडिंग सैलरीज, यस बेटा, वो जब फाइनल
Uh,
अकाउंट्स करेंगे ना तब मैं आपको बताऊंगी, वो
ma'am,
लाइबिलिटीज में आएगी।
इधर लिखा
हाँ
हुआ है ना कि आउटस्टैंडिंग एक्सपेंसेस आर अकाउंटेड फॉर इन प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट।
हाँ हाँ, वहां पे भी करते हैं। दो डुअल इफेक्ट होता है ना फाइनल अकाउंट्स में।
यस मैम, यस।
हाँ, जो भी वो तब मैं और क्लियरली समझाऊंगी। जो भी एडजस्टमेंट्स होती हैं दे कम एट अ मिनिमम ऑफ टू प्लेसेस। तो एक पीएनएल में इफेक्ट आएगा, एक बैलेंस शीट में। ठीक है,
यस मैम।
ओके। So let's come to the first point. So it's self-explanatory. कैश बेसिस में सिर्फ कैश ट्रांजैक्शंस रिकॉर्ड होंगी। जो आपका अक्रूवल बेसिस ऑफ अकाउंटिंग है उसमें दोनों कैश और क्रेडिट ट्रांजैक्शंस रिकॉर्ड होंगी। ओके, आफ्टर दैट prepaid, outstanding, accrued income, income received in advance, all this is relevant to the accrual basis of accounting and not to the cash basis of accounting. Okay, so this I have already explained to you. All these terms, since the point has been raised, these terms are adjusted in the final accounts. ओके, सो विच विल बी डूइंग प्रैक्टिकली ऑल्सो। तो जैसे अभी गौतम ने भी बोला दैट दे आर अकाउंटेड, आई एम सॉरी, दे आर अकाउंटेड फॉर इन प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट and they are also shown in the balance sheet of the business. While under cash basis they do not matter, there is no relevance of these terms. Okay, Sahil, यू आर आस्किंग, ओके, विद रिगार्ड टू बिजनेस। बेटा जो शॉर्ट्स वो स्मॉल स्केल बिजनेस होते हैं या अगर आप सोल ओनर वाले बिजनेस की बात करो तो वहां पे कोई अलग से अकाउंटेंट तो होता नहीं है। तो बहुत बारी ओनर खुद ही हिसाब रखता है, तो उस केस में तो वो कैश बेसिस यूज करते हैं। बाकी जहां पर भी फॉर्मल बिजनेस सेटअप होता है वहां पर अक्रूवल बेसिस ऑफ अकाउंटिंग ही फॉलो होता है। एक्चुअली दैट इज व्हाट इज मैंडेटरी। ओके, तो जनरली एक्सेप्टेड अकाउंटिंग प्रिंसिपल्स के हिसाब से अक्रूवल बेसिस ही होना चाहिए। स्मॉल स्केल बिजनेस में भी अक्रूवल बेसिस ऑफ अकाउंटिंग फॉलो होना चाहिए, बट जहां पर भी फाइलिंग नहीं होती अकाउंट्स की वहां पर इट इज अप टू द डिस्क्रिशन ऑफ द ओनर what kind of accounting are they following. Okay, okay, so as you can see cash basis is simple, easy and quick. Any one of us can go for cash basis of accounting, उसके लिए कोई भी prior knowledge required नहीं है। Accrual basis is complicated but widely used because it is what is presenting the true picture of the business. Okay, after that the meaning is there, and then you see that the financial report shows revenue and expenses based on time, while accrual basis will match the revenue and expenses more clearly. तो accurate picture अगर आपको अपने business की देखनी है then that is visible through the accrual basis of accounting. Okay, then again any account is receivable, any amount which is due but not received, or any account which is due but not yet paid will be recorded under accrual basis of accounting, while it is ignored under the cash basis of accounting. Okay, and then you see best suited for relevance of cash basis is in case of small service companies, non-profit organizations, social associations, while for बिजनेस जिनके फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स ऑडिट होने हैं उनके केसेस में अक्रूअल बेसिस ऑफ अकाउंटिंग इज द बेस्ट मोड ऑफ अकाउंटिंग. Okay, and whatever we are studying in accounts will be accrual basis of accounting. Okay, तो वहां पर टैबुलर फॉर्म में है. यहाँ पर ऑल दीज डिफरेंसेस हैव आल्सो बीन गिवन in the statement form, but for differences always prefer using the tabular form of presentation. Okay, I hope the accrual basis of accounting is clear to everyone. We now move to the next concept of accounting, which is the matching concept. Again, accrual basis of accounting says that matching concept has to be followed. What does matching concept means? Revenues and expenses incurred to earn the revenues must belong to the same accounting period. तो अगर आपने सेल रिकॉर्ड करी है ड्यूरिंग फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2018-19 तो उसके जो रेलेवेंट एक्सपेंसेस हैं सेल्स तक आने के लिए, रेवेन्यू तक आने के लिए, वो सारे एक्सपेंसेस उसी टाइम पीरियड में रिकॉर्ड होने चाहिए. ओके, 18-19 में जो भी खर्चा करा आपने टू अर्न दी रेवेन्यू, दैट those all expenses should be recorded during that financial period only. Once the revenue is realized means you get the right to receive the money. Next step is to allocate it to the relevant accounting period. वहां पर रिकॉर्ड करोगे जहां पर आपके पास आ गई right to receive money, and then all the expenses incurred in earning that revenue should be recorded. So let's take an example and the concept will be more clear. So on your screens, you can see that during the month of March, there has been some sales and then some expenditure has been incurred to come to those sales. Salaries, commission, interest received will be an income, rent received again an income, carriage paid, carriage क्या होता है, transportation expense होता है, and postage. Okay, so let us see how we record these incomes and expenses. Now, in this example, some expenses are very straightforward. आपको यहाँ पर और expenses भी mentioned है. Rent paid 200, out of which 50 belongs to the next year. Goods purchased 1500 on cash basis and on credit basis 500, depreciation 200. Okay, now simple table form में हम लिख रहे हैं कि कौन से revenue इस time period के लिए हैं और कौन से expenses इस time period के लिए हैं. So what I'll do is to make the display more comfortable, I'll display a 2-page layout so that it becomes easier to see how we are recording the expenses and revenues. So step 1 is to record all the revenues. So step 1, we record all the incomes the business has received. सबसे पहली income है cash sales हुई है 2000 और क्रेडिट सेल्स हुई है 1000. ओके, इसका मतलब मंथ ऑफ मार्च में आपकी टोटल सेल्स have been worth rupees 3000, so that 3000 is recorded under the revenue. Whether it is a cash sales or a credit sales, sales have been made, business has got the right to receive the money, hence it will be recorded under the term revenues. This is what we studied under the realization concept. Okay, after that, the next income. First, I am pointing out all the incomes and then we'll see what are the expenses. So, next income received is interest. Interest 50 rupees is added under the term revenue. After that, the next income is rent received. Rent received is 140, out of which 40 has been received for the next financial year. अब आपका करंट फाइनेंशियल ईयर क्या है? 1st April 16 to 31st March 17. Okay, so your financial year ends on 31st March 2017, while you have received 40 rupees of rent for the next financial year. Now, this income is not related to the current financial year. So, how do we record this revenue? Rent received 140 less 40 for 2018. So, for the current financial year, current time period, relevant revenue is only rupees 100. Okay. So apart from this, all the others are expenses. So first, on the revenue side, you have 3 entries. Please pay attention, everyone. If there's any question, especially the ones who are studying it for the first time, if there's any question, please ask. Okay, so I hope this is clear to everyone. So once we have recorded all the revenues, step 2 is to record all the relevant expenses for that time period. So let's start with salaries paid. First expense, and take a different color. So first expense is salaries paid 350, then commission 150, carriage, postage, ये सारे खर्चे हुए हैं, तो ये सब आप expenses के अंदर you will record. Now let's come to this side. What you see is that rent paid 200, out of which 50 belongs to the year 2018. Same thing, 50 rupees की जो पेमेंट हुई है वो इस ईयर के रेलिवेंट नहीं है, तो under expenses rent paid will be recorded as rupees 150. 200 less 50 for next year. This is how matching is done. We record expenses only for the relevant time period. Then again, goods purchased 1500 on cash basis, 500 on credit basis. But goods purchased have been for the current financial year. तो आप दोनों का sum total record करोगे under the expenses. Whether you have paid cash or you have not paid cash, if any expense has been incurred in the current financial year, it will be recorded. So goods purchased will be for rupees 2000. And then next and last expense is depreciation, which will be rupees 200. So first record all the revenues and then all the related expenses. This is how we work using the matching concept. Now, any questions, any doubt, any confusion in this?
मैम
No, ma'am.
Okay, yes, Pawan.
मैम ये जो 40 रुपीज हैं जो हमने लेस करे हैं,
रेंट वाले,
मैम ये इनकम रिसीव्ड इन एडवांस नहीं होगा?
हाँ ये इनकम रिसीव्ड इन एडवांस होगा, ये फिर बैलेंस शीट में रिकॉर्ड होती है।
मैम इसमें नहीं होगी मतलब फिर?
नहीं नहीं, अभी तो मैं सिर्फ आपको बता रही हूँ कि कैसे आप रेवेन्यू रिकॉर्ड करोगे, कैसे एक्सपेंसेस, फिर इसकी ट्रीटमेंट अकाउंटिंग फाइनल अकाउंट्स में कैसे होती है वो मैं आगे बताऊंगी। अभी आप ये समझ लो कि इस टाइम पीरियड के लिए जो इनकम है वो 100 रुपए है, ये रिकॉर्ड होगा 40 रुपीज। ठीक है, और ये लाइबिलिटी होगी बिजनेस के लिए, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले बताया था कि इनकम आपने रिसीव कर ली पर उसके अगेंस्ट आपने सर्विसेज देनी है, देन दैट इज अ लाइबिलिटी फॉर द बिजनेस।
ओके मैम।
Okay. Yes, any other question? Okay, so let's move further. So once we record all the expenses and incomes, if revenues are more, expenses are less, you have a profit. However, if expenses are more and revenue is less, you have a loss. So that is how the matching concept works. Okay, after now we have more or less covered all the accounting principles. Now we come to the accounting conventions. I have Sahil already shared this PDF on the classroom. So please check it there if it's, I think I have shared. Okay, तो आप check कर लेना वहाँ पे. Okay. So accounting concepts पढ़े हैं आपने अभी तक. Next term used is accounting conventions. Can anyone tell me what is the literal meaning of the term convention?
I think so, meeting, ma'am.
Convention meeting. अच्छा वो सेकंड वो होगा मीनिंग, मेन मीनिंग क्या होता है कन्वेंशन जब हम टर्म यूज करते हैं, सारे मन
मैम जो चलता आ रहा है।
हाँ, वेरी गुड. Traditions actually is the literal meaning. Whatever we have been following over the years, something which is accepted. So accounting conventions are not defined rules of accounting, but they are the treatments which have been accepted over a period of time. तो कॉन्सेप्ट्स जो हैं वो प्रॉपर रूल्स हैं जो आपने फॉलो करने हैं, तो उसमें सब्जेक्टिविटी नहीं हो सकती, उसमें बायसनेस नहीं हो सकती, पर जो कन्वेंशंस होते हैं उनमें सब्जेक्टिविटी हो सकती है, बिकॉज दे आर कॉमन accounting practices, they are not defined rules. ओके, अब ये ऐसा डिफरेंस क्यों है, ये कैसे फॉलो होता है, आई विल स्ट्रेट अवे मूव टू द कन्वेंशन एंड देन देयर आई विल पॉइंट आउट हाउ रूल्स आर डिफरेंट फ्रॉम कन्वेंशंस. सो लेट्स मूव टू द फर्स्ट कन्वेंशन. यहीं पर आपको समझ आ जाएगा कि कॉन्सेप्ट और कन्वेंशन में क्या डिफरेंस होता है. So materiality is the first accounting convention. What does this convention say? It says that the principle is the principle in financial accounting and reporting that firms may disregard trivial matters. Trivial is something which is not important. but they must disclose everything that is important to the report audience. Material information disclose करो, immaterial information can be avoided, it can be hidden. बट अब कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन किस बिजनेस के लिए मटेरियल है, दैट विल बी अ पॉइंट ऑफ सब्जेक्टिविटी. एक बिजनेस के लिए से देयर इज अ ₹100 डेट. कस्टमर गुड्स ले गया क्रेडिट पे, अभी ₹100 का उधार है कस्टमर पे. अब ये ₹100 का डेट अगर कस्टमर पे नहीं करता, so this becomes a bad debt. Okay, customer has taken goods from your shop on credit basis, but now that amount is due but has not been received. It becomes a bad debt for the business. एक है बिजनेस ए, एक है बिजनेस बी. बिजनेस ए का ईयरली प्रॉफिट है ₹10,000 और बिजनेस बी का ईयरली प्रॉफिट है ₹10,00,000. कौन से बिजनेस के लिए ये बैड डेट मटेरियल होगा?
ए के लिए.
ए के लिए. बी के लिए ये ₹100 की कोई भी इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं है. ओके, सो देयर कम्स द सब्जेक्टिविटी, flexibility in disclosing information. This bad debt will surely be disclosed by firm A, while firm B can skip disclosing this information because this is not material with regards to the size of the business. So some transactions may be relevant for a small company but might be irrelevant for a big company. This is what the convention of materiality says. So it's not that you should disclose all the information, क्योंकि immaterial information overload बनाता है, उसका कोई फायदा नहीं होता. ठीक है, बट जब आप इंफॉर्मेशन डिस्क्लोज कर रहे हो, यू शुड बी वेरी केयरफुल. इफ देयर इज एनी इंफॉर्मेशन दैट कैन influence decision making of any of the interested parties, then that information must be disclosed. Okay, so there are more examples like the one I have explained. A default by a customer who owes only 1,000 to a company having net assets of 10 million is immaterial. Okay, however, जिस कंपनी के एसेट्स 10 मिलियन है और अगर उसमें डिफॉल्ट 2 मिलियन की होती है, then that information is very material. Okay. Again, one more example. Small payments like postage, stationery, cleaning expenses. ये सब एक्सपेंसेस छोटी छोटी अमाउंट के होते हैं बट मल्टीपल होते हैं. तो इनको हम क्या करते हैं, हम इनको क्लब कर देते हैं और क्लब करके टोटल करके हम इनको लिख देते हैं सन्ड्री एक्सपेंसेस और मिसलेनियस एक्सपेंसेस. तो अलग से आपने 10 पेन खरीदे, 4 स्टेपलर खरीदे, इसको एक एक एंट्री आप नहीं करोगे. इन सबका टोटल करके आप कैसे लिखते हो, सन्ड्री एक्सपेंसेस. ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ materiality convention is used in accounting. Okay, and then just have a look at the second point here. Small valued assets like pencil, sharpener, paper clip. अब ये सब भी आप 1 साल से ज्यादा यूज करते हो, ये सब आपको हेल्प कर रहे हैं अपना डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज में, पर आप इतने छोटे एसेट्स पे डेप्रिसिएशन चार्ज नहीं करते. आप इनको एक्सपेंसेस की तरह रिकॉर्ड करते हो. आप अपनी बैलेंस शीट में शार्पनर, स्टेपलर ऐसे एसेट्स नहीं दिखाओगे, आप इनको वन टाइम एक्सपेंस दिखाते हो. Yes. Conventions are not skipped, Suraj. Conventions are applied as per convenience. But concept is mandatory. Yes. वहां पर कोई भी flexibility नहीं है. Okay. So this is how this convention is applied in accounting. So we'll stop here.